Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio. E estamos, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Domestice podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. What's happening, Cristiano? I know it's been a while.
I forgot how to do this. How does this go? What are we supposed to do here? Hi, my name is Cristiano, and I'm a Benfica-holic.
That's hilarious, bro.
What's going on, Alfredo, Dave, Freddy's? Miss you guys. It's been a while. But we're here on positive notes. So positive Cristiano's going to be around for a little while, Dave.
Yeah. Dave de Oliveira is also here. What's happening, Dave? How you been? Long time no see. Did you also forget how to do this?
Only one way to find out. We'll see.
What are we doing?
Good to be back. Yeah. No, we'll see how the things go. I feel like the last podcasts and like the games, the Champions League qualifying podcast for us now. Objectives have been accomplished. We've qualified now. The real season and the real games begin here. So we'll recap that all here for you tonight. And good to be back with the both of you here.
Damn, yeah. Dave is in mid-season form. Jesus,
mid-season form.
That was good, Dave. That was good.
I got something going on here because I got Jason Gaidola on. Oh, here we are. Got Jason Gaidola in one chat, and we're on the other chat, and it's a little bit delayed, and it is what it is. But we're here. Manny Valadão, Carlos Amaros, Diogo Reis, as always. It's good to see everyone. Good to see that everybody's doing well. It's been a while. Well, let's see. It's all my fault. I had vacation. Then I was last week. I had a concert that I was at, and then we just couldn't figure out when to come on, and whatever. Said we'll just save it for this week, whatever. But here we are. I know it's been a while. I wanted to apologize for the lack of content. We appreciate you guys as always, and I know that you guys look forward to our content. And I apologize if we've kind of let you down in terms of the content that we've been putting out. But we're here. We're working on new things. We're working on making the content a little bit more entertaining in terms of visual things, etc. But here we are. We got lots and lots to talk about tonight. Serving up episode 565. Lots to talk about. And look, we won't bore you with all the details and the games, but I want to kind of break this up in a few sections. Right, we're going to break this up in what we've done so far in the league, and obviously we got max points with one game less, and we're going to talk about the Champions League, the fixture against Fenerbahce. We're going to talk about new signings, what our opinions are. Yeah, I know I got 2 feeds going. I know. I don't know how to change that. But yeah, just trying to get people back all on the same feed.
Benfica didn't have any weeks off. They didn't have vacation, and they hit on all cylinders. We have nothing but time, it's pontapé atrás do outro. We'll figure this out, though. We'll figure it. Right, Alfredo? We have confidence. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's just this new software that I'm using. I'm not using OBS, but the new software that I'm using, it's a little wonky. But yeah, like I said, so talk about what's been going on domestically. Talk about the fixture against Fenerbahce and the draw and the schedule and what we we have up ahead in our way in terms of Champions League new format that was introduced last year, and then we also give you our opinion on some of the signings, or all of the signings really. Obviously we've always prefaced these big election years with new signings. We saw it in when Luis Felipe Vieira went against Ronya, and now we're seeing it for Rui Costa. It's an all-in thing, but look, it is what it is. I think as Benfiquistas, we can't complain. I think we can complain when we're spending a lot of money and the guys that we bring in are worth shit. But it does look, at least a couple of the couple of the guys that we brought in are players. But anyway, happy that you guys are here. Yeah, let's get this going. I was just hoping that we could figure this out in terms of the two streams that we got going on. But I guess sooner or later we will figure this out. Yeah, but I got two streams going on. I'm gonna kill one of the streams. You guys are just gonna have to hop on another one. Hold on a second. Let me kill this one. Up on the other stream, fellas.
While you do the stream, I'm gonna say hello to Manny the Cunha, Jason Gaidola, NG, my man Kevin, Jason Carepa, Diogo Reis, Alfredo. Oh, that is you. A couple of the comments. Diogo Reis says 100 million spent in transfers, and Rui can't spot us with a little something something. Manuel Cunha says, good to be back. Jason Gaidola, evening, gents. How's everyone doing? From the Cunha. Kevin says, goddamn, international break comes again, and I'm dying to see the new guys in action. I mean, that is, you're not the only one, Kevin. We all can't stand these damn international breaks, and especially when you get these brand new shiny toys that you can't play with. It's like the morning after Christmas, more Christmas morning, you open up all your gifts and your mom says you got to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Did I just get knocked out? Oh, I don't know what the hell happened.
No, I killed the one stream where Jason Gaidola was at. So I just told the fellas to hop on this stream. There was 9 people on one stream and
I
3
think you
people
killed,
on the other stream.
You killed the, oh man, a whole 12. I think you killed the one I'm on. I don't know. I guess the one I was reading from.
No, everybody's is
hop
now.
onto the other screen, you said.
Hop onto the other one. Yeah. So the other one was a little bit delayed. So it's technical things that sometimes happen when you do these things on the internet live. You know how it is.
Well, we're gonna get the Zach Thornton studio up and running.
The Zach Thornton, yeah, that's right.
That's right. You forgot the Zach Thornton. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get the studio up and running soon, and so hopefully we won't have any of these glitches.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start at the beginning. I was waiting for folks to come in and join us, but it looks like people already there's 10 in, so I think that everybody's made it in, a whole 10. Could have a game.
Carlos is here. SOBE's Manny Valadão. I said hello to the other guys, so I'm trying to say hello. Jason Gaidola, Kevin is back here. Still missing some guys, but let's go, baby. Let's talk about our Sport Lisboa Benfica. And hopefully it's nothing but good things.
Yeah. So let's start with the domestic games, right? So Benfica is, obviously because of the Super Cup and then playing in Europe against Nice, we pushed off that inaugural jornada. So we're playing that. We're playing that sometime in September, right, Dave? I believe.
What
game against Luau? Yeah,
September 22nd or 23rd, something like that.
The 23rd.
Yeah. So we pushed this off. And just to so we're in one game behind. And we had who did we play? We played Strela was our first game, right, Dave?
Yep.
Which fell in between the Fenerbahce fixture, was it? I'm trying to
Fenerbahce away after Estrela, and then Tondela at home, and then Fenerbahce at home as well.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a performance that was too pleasing on the eye against Strela, playing at the Reboleira, smaller field. Strela really gave us some problems, so we managed to squeeze the result there, and then we were home against Tondela, and that was a much easier showing. And then this past weekend we were away um, at where did we play?
Alverca.
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 For this.
Come on,
Put the
Vinicius
sleep,
team. It
guys.
was all over TV, bro. You still
It
on
was all over
vacation, bro.
TV. It was
Yeah,
all over
Vinicius.
TV.
Vinicius was all over. They spent more time on him than on the
I
game and
know.
shit.
I know. I mean, when you got that kind of money, you can get on a plane and take a trip to Ribatejo, right? Local airport, private jet. You can make it no issues. Yeah.
I'm surprised people call Alverca Ribetejo. That shit's like right on the outskirts of
Well,
Lisboa. I don't know why. Whatever.
Alcochete is right on the border of Extremadura and Ribatejo, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like Samora Correia and Benavente, which you're familiar with. That's Ribatejo already, so
Yes,
it's
that
right
I
there.
know. Yeah.
So Alverca is also, even
I
though it's
just-
on that side,
Mhm.
it's just on that cutoff right now.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, the game against Alverca, and look, in terms of the lineups, we've seen some rotation, but some guys here and there. But for the most part, it's always the same guys. You got Truben in goal. Sometimes we got Samu in goal. You got Dal on the left. You got Dedic on the right. I mean, yeah, on the right. Then you got Otamendi and you got Silva. And then we've seen Tomás Araújo come in the midfield. You have Barrenechea and Rios. Then we have Barreira sometimes. Then sometimes we have Pavlidis and Ivanovic. And then on the wings, Auschwitz is on the right. Sheldrup comes in. Artur Koglu, while he was in, was also doing that. So we haven't seen a lot of variations in terms of the 11. It's been a pretty steady 11 with some timely substitutions and refreshing and rotation by Lage. But for the most part, I mean, what you see is what you get. I thought we had a pretty good half against Alverca. We scored 2 goals. Then the second half, we kind of slowed things down. Then we had the red card for Dedic. And then things just got a little bit out of control, where we lowered the lines too much, and then it was just suffering. It was suffering against a team like Alverca, a team that was recently promoted, a team that has 1 point, if I'm not mistaken, Dave. They have 1 point. So yeah, but we were able to get the 3 points, and I think that's the most important thing. But I mean, I'll throw it over to you, Chris, and I know that you got a lot to say. But domestically, how have you been seeing Benfica this year, or this early on?
From my couch.
From your couch.
Yes. Listen. Obviously, watching Benfica play in these first 5-6 games so far to kick off the season, it's clear to everyone that's been watching these games that Benfica plays at a much higher level and in the European competitions, at least the Champions League qualifiers, than they have played in the Portuguese league. And call it what you want. I don't know if it's the pitch, because you could go back to the pitch at Estrela, and it wasn't exactly the best. And then you go to the one this weekend at Alberca. That was, I mean, it was absolutely terrible. These guys could not. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the old school, not too old school, but a few years ago, Alvalade pitches that every time you stepped into the ground, the grass would just go with you. It was just, I don't understand. All this money spent on these fields, and these guys can't take care of the grass, which seems to me to be the easiest of the things to worry about in a stadium, and the easiest to take care of. But yeah, it's a different Benfica. I don't know if it's the nerves. I don't know if it's the excitement. I don't know if the players don't really get too excited about going to these little stadiums. They didn't exactly have the best of games as well. Let's try to lose against Tondela. But the important thing here, guys, is that even while playing bad, Benfica is finding a way to get the 3 points, and that's important. That's a sign of a championship team, that you're able to come away with the points even when struggling. We understand Benfica was playing a game, it seemed like every other freaking day. Players weren't getting the adequate rest. a lot of nerves. Obviously, Champions League qualifying or not is going to bring a lot of nerves into these players. But they did what they had to do in the end. They qualified. They pretty much, not pretty much, they hit all the objectives. Had players come in, players come out, players adapting. And, all in all, 9 for 9 in terms of points in the Campeonato Português. Got the victories that they needed to get in the Champions League qualifiers. And I think we're all sitting here pretty happy because coming into this month, coming into these competitions, I should say, knowing that Benfica was only going to have a week off after playing in the Club World Cup, knowing it's going to be a short preseason, knowing you had an all important game with the Supertaça against our rivals from across town, which we did come away with. I'm pretty sure all of us had some butterflies in our stomach at some points, and look, they did what they had to do. Wasn't perfect. And here we are now, with new players, some exciting players to this new roster. We'll see what happens, but let's see if these guys now get on the same page, and hopefully with the new additions, Benfica can start playing a little bit different football on the road. I think it's going to be tough all season long when teams drop back, but we got plenty of time to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And Kevin mentioned something in terms of the pitch. He says it's frustrating to see these pitches be in such horrible shape. Doesn't the Liga have any standards? I mean, if it looks like this, right, at this juncture of the season, imagine when it starts raining and things get heavy and there's heavy pitches, what that's going to look like. And certainly, when there's European competitions, UEFA takes the time to come out, inspect pitches, make sure that everything is up to par, up to snuff. But the Portuguese league is the Mickey Mouse league. What do you expect? Now, what can you expect from a league that doesn't schedule all of their games and releases a schedule maybe a couple of weeks before the games are supposed to take place? But that's what we've grown to expect from the Portuguese league. But yeah, Dave, what about you, man? What have been some of your first impressions this early on?
Chris took the positive route of going collecting 9 points from the 3 games. I'll go the route that I wish we would have shown a little bit more offensively. We've been solid, at least defensively, by the score sheet. There's been some games where I think we were fortunate to concede some goals, but
the Strela game, Dave, the Pitus by Trubin in the Strela game, we got lucky.
That game, I want to say there was at least a couple of opportunities with Fenerbahce as well, but yeah. So on the score sheet, it only shows 1 goal conceded here through the first 8 games across all competition. But I want more from our team offensively. I think we've just been squeaking by with one of these 1-0 results or a 2-0 result with some goals in the garbage time there. So I know defensively looks like we've got it all pretty much figured out, but I want to see some. When you think about Benfica, you think about an attacking team, and we might score 4 and we might concede 1 or 2 here, but at least we're going to be scoring goals. So it's a little bit of a switch up here where we're not conceding goals, but to score the goals, it seems to be a little bit more work.
Dave, you brought out the negative in me, Dave. You brought it out. I mean, I'm trying to be positive, but Dave, I mean, you're asking for miracles here. We're talking about an offense that's Pavlidis, who's been rusty so far. Ausnes on the right, who is not the best at going at players and dribbling and attacking players like we need to on the wings. Sheldrup is hit and miss. And then we got the great, what's his name? Ivanovic, who's absolutely atrocious so far. And Barreiro. I mean, it's not like Benfica's put any of these weapons that they've just recently acquired to use. We'll see what happens. If we're sitting here in a few weeks and Luka Bubi and Sanduk, what's his name? Sudakov haven't really added much to this team and we're still struggling to score goals, then I'm with you, Dave. But I think we really didn't have these options. Artur Kuglu is Mr. Inconsistent as well. We're happy he scored a goal against Fenerbahce, which I'll never understand. He knocks them out of the Champions League and then they go acquire him. That's going to be awkward when he walks into that locker
Yeah,
room.
man didn't celebrate. He already knew he was.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Sure.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
he posted a picture as a child in a Fenerbahce shirt.
I know that he's asking for trouble. That's
He doesn't get it from
antagonizing.
the Fenerbahce fans. He gets it from the Galatasaray fans. I'm
He's
sure.
screwed. He's screwed either way. You know,
Those guys, yeah, and even he said in Ebola today there was something on Ebola. I guess when they introduced him, that he said after getting Benfica into the Champions League, he thought he would be okay. I guess he didn't want to leave Portugal. I guess, right? I guess the prospect of playing Champions League is much better than playing the Europa League. I'm sure, and I'm sure that was a factor that weighed heavy on him. But without Koksu there, I mean, now he's the only Turkish guy there.
Goksu and his boy Amdouni. Apparently, that was the trio, the Three
That was the
Musketeers.
click.
That was the click. But whatever. Listen, say what you want about the guy. I wasn't his biggest fan, but I have to applaud him and tip my cap to him. My man was ultra professional. Where we've seen so far this year, where some players who were demanding an exit from their clubs pouted and some didn't even show up. He did. He did what he had to do. And again, he had that one opportunity against his future team, knowing very well that he was gonna knock him out of the competition that all players dream of playing in, and he buried it. Calm, cool, and collected. And so credit to him. A lot of other players would have
Yeah.
picked it. I mean, I'm reminded of the Jackson Martinez penalty against Porto, if you guys recall.
I fucking remember that one.
And so Artur Kuglu, Mr. Professional, gotta tip my cap to him. But yeah, I just man, that's gonna be a tough one
Yeah.
walking into that locker room.
No, and look, I think that there's the thing that I said about Lajer early in the season was that I think some of the names that we brought, at least from first impression, and this could end up proving me wrong, but I think that they've gotten some players that we needed. And there was just Kevin was mentioning that that Rios and Barrenechea are good, but they're very strong. They're very aggressive in the middle, and I think that at points we needed that. We
But
needed
that's fantastic. The
we
problem
needed an Otamendi
Yeah, but
throughout the
Alfredo,
field.
the problem is not Ricochet and Rios being aggressive, guys. The problem is that in Portugal, every little thing is a foul, and that's what
Yeah.
worries me. It's not that these guys are aggressive. These guys play football the hard nosed way, the
Yeah.
South American way. They come in for
Yep.
every tackle. In Portugal, unfortunately, if you breathe on a guy, it's a yellow card.
Yep.
But them guys are professional footballers, spectacular footballers, and the reason why Benfica's gone whatever it is, 3 for 3 points, even when not playing well in the Portuguese Campeonato, is because our midfield, with those two alone, it is a huge upgrade from last year's midfield. And those two guys alone, and you saw this weekend, I understand that Dedic got a red card. I understand that, and that totally changed the scenario of the game, right? Situation and everything else. The other team came forward, they smelled blood, they did what they had to do. But don't underestimate taking out Rios from that game as well.
No,
When you take out Rios, you lose that motor. But he's not just some of the guys that we've had in years past that all they do is run. And it's like, it looks constructive, but at the end of the day, it adds nothing. He's running around with a purpose. You know what I mean? Rios is a spectacular player, and I think in a couple of months, if not sooner, he'll quickly become one of the fans' favorites. And especially now with these two other guys that are going to bring in the ability to play, make, and create, and go on top of players and score. I think Rios is going to be liberated. He's going to feel even more comfortable. But
Yep.
these guys have added tremendous quality to our midfield, man. Don't underestimate that for a second. And it's not just in pressing and everything else, but it's with the ability to handle the opposition's press. Where in years past, Tino was the first guy to come back in construction, and he cannot turn. We've seen a lot of miscues. But Ricochet, say what you want. I don't think he's quick. He is not quick, and I believe that's why he's at Benfica. Because if he was fast, he'd still be in the UK or in Spain. He would not be at Benfica. So he's limited in that capacity. But with the ball at his feet, the dude's a magician. With his left foot, with his right foot, one touch, two touch, simple, and we alleviate that first line of pressure, and then it allows Benfica to come forward and play. And so I think it's only going to get better with the addition of these new guys.
Yeah, and look, all of last year we played in a system without two forwards. Now all of a sudden Ivanovic joined, now insisting on Ivanovic. Now we're finally starting to see Barreiro, but and God bless him, Barreiro, he has the right attitude, he has the right drive, he puts in the effort, but come on, man. He's
Hey
just
man,
not
look, but
he's
Barreto
not
did
that
score a
player.
hat trick last year. He did score a hat
Oh,
trick.
fuck.
He doesn't even know how he scored the hat
But
trick,
hold
bro.
on. You guys know I'm out of all the three of us, I'm the most critical when it comes to players and shit like that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But to me, guys, man, it comes down to you don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? It just doesn't
yeah,
work. And at the same time, it's not Barrero's fault that he's playing the 10 position. I mean, the guy don't know what a 10 is if it smacks him upside the head. You know what I'm saying? And it's not his fault. He's just out there pressing and doing his best. He is not an extraordinary player by any stretch of the imagination, but he is a roster player, a player that rotates, a player that could come in, for one or two starts and serve the club well. The problem is where you play him. And so I think now with the addition of Sudakov, with the addition of
yeah,
Lububaki, I think he'll start playing a little bit deeper down the field, and
yeah,
Benfica's gonna have to start rotating guys. We obviously lost Florentino, and now you have Barrigachea, who's already on 3 yellow, right?
every game.
In
Both
3 games,
Rios.
yes,
Fucking
and
game.
Rios. So you're gonna have to rotate. So guys, you're gonna
Yeah,
see maybe I can't wait until what's his name Manu comes back, but that's
yeah,
still a little further down the line. Same thing with Ba. But for now, you're gonna have to see Barreto play that position. You're gonna have to see
yep,
Alsness slide into the middle a little bit. I think Alsness now, when Benfica comes back and they feel the strongest 11, you're gonna see Alsness on the left, Sudukov in the middle, and Lububaki on the right with Pavlidis up top with Barrigachea and Rios. But they're going to have to rotate some of these guys around. And the one thing I like about this year's team, I understand there isn't that one guy that's going to break everybody, right? Go on top. I love those players. I think we need those players, especially in a 4-2-3-1. Players that add width and go on top of players and able to break them and cut inside and score. And I think Lububaki could be that player. I don't know yet. He might be that player. But I think this year's team, once Ba comes back, once Manu comes back, the way I look at it, the sign of a good team, guys, is
yeah,
you have two solid out, and obviously the goalkeeper isn't the least of my worries, right? When it comes to options, but you have two very solid options at goalkeeper. You're gonna have Ba and Dedic on the right side of the defense, right? Two guys that I like Dedic better. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a better player, but the other guy could play in the game instead of having to go and play as Shavs and Tondela, right? Dedic, you could rotate him and have him fresh for the Champions League. Then you got the three options at center back, right? Then you got Obrador and Dahl, I'm sorry, on the left. And I think Obrador is a player that's still very raw, but I think all you guys will eventually like him very much. He reminds me a lot of a young Carreras when he came in, struggled a little bit. A lot of people are saying he's too green, but once he got the hang of it, he became a phenomenal left back. So much so that he spends a year at the Luz and goes and Real Madrid buys him, and then he starts for them. So I think Obrador is a player in that mold. I think we'll all be happy with him. Then in the midfield, you're gonna have Manu, Barreiro, Barrigachea, Rios. I don't know about this Coletta, this new Italian player, but they did register him for the
nah,
league.
he's going to be.
Okay, I didn't say he's not going. They did register him though for the
No,
league,
they do ready.
so that means he's available at some point. What's his name? Oh my God, João Veloso is another player. I think we'll get some burn here at some point. We have options on the right
Rego,
with Pristiani. I'm sorry,
you got Rego, João Rego.
I forgot about him. Man. He hasn't
Yeah,
even played.
he hasn't played in a bit, but
I
Velosa's played a
haven't
little
even
bit
seen.
more
No,
than him.
I thought didn't Rego go out on loan,
No,
or am I
he's
going
still
Yeah,
crazy?
no,
here.
There,
He's
still
been
there.
he's still
injured.
here. I could have. Oh, he's
He's been
injured. Okay,
injured?
I think. Well, he made an appearance in the Eusebio Cup for a minute, and then
yeah,
after
and
that,
that was it. So did
yeah.
Veloso. Veloso played there, never played again. But Rego,
Yeah.
I could have sworn Rego left. I thought he left on loan. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. But listen, there's different options. You got Lukubaki on the right, Prestiani on the right. On the left, you could play Lukubaki on the left as well. Sudukov could play on the left. You have Sheldrup on the left, Alson's on the left. I mean, you got options. The only one out of all these guys, to be frank, out of the new acquisitions that Benfica acquired, the guy that really has me shaking my head and questioning a whole bunch of things is Ivanovic. I just don't, and I got some stick on social media when I said I don't know Benfica was thinking when they purchased this guy, but he just looks like a player to me that is either shitting his pants and very nervous, or a guy that has absolutely no technical ability to turn with the ball on his feet and turn and create and even play a simple 1-2 pass. Everything he does, I remember he tried to make a pass. I don't know if it's to Arsenal Shaldrup, like 5 yards away from him, and the guy blasts the ball at him. I'm like, you have absolutely no touch. But again, it's early, and if he gets to be successful, he's going to have to pick it up. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. He's the only guy that I can honestly say that I have huge question marks. Everybody else, I like. So we'll see what happens.
I agree with you, Chris. I think that sooner or later everybody will settle in. Now that the transfer window is closed, there's also people relax. They're not as distracted. They're not, watching the media. They're not taking calls from agents. So things will settle in. You got the final squad. You got the guys that were supposed to go out that have gone out. I think things now are going to settle, especially after this international break. It'll provide a little bit of the reset. But this was the first cycle for Benfica, and I think that we could look at things in terms of cycles, and making the Champions League and having all your league games without losing any points this early on, right before the international break. I thought it was paramount that Benfica did that. Winning the Super Cup was nice. Like I said, Champions League qualification is nice because that's not only money, but that's also where Benfica is supposed to be every year, where we belong. And obviously, with being an election year, it was a sensitive and delicate time, right? Because if Benfica fails to make, for some odd reason, right, and we were the superior team to Fenerbahce, but for some odd reason things don't go in our way. Seferovic misses a goal against Barcelona. Things like that happen, right? But it was a very tense time because we're right a couple months before election, and it's key that after all the signings that you've done, and excluding the ones that we've recently done after qualifying, you kind of want to make sure that you're meeting your marks. And I think that at the end of the cycle, you got to look back, and despite being one game short of what you're supposed to play domestically, I think that you're checking all the boxes. On top of it, you allowed one goal against Alverca, which I mean, I don't think he should have had any business, allowing that goal, because I
That
just
was a
think he
bad
dropped.
clearance. That was a bad
Yeah,
clearance
but
from Otamendi.
I think that the team put themselves in that position, right? We dropped the lines. We went down to 10 man. We dropped the lines. We could very well play against Alverca, against 10 men, being that Chiquinho was already out of the game, and he was the only threat. And the amount of Benfica players that picked up yellow cards as a result of grabbing Chiquinho was just was most of the team. And we just couldn't stop the guy, and the coaching staff couldn't do anything to stop. I mean, mark him one man on man. Don't give him any room. Don't let him receive the ball. But I thought that Benfica lowered their lines and they kind of exposed themselves. And then obviously, Otamendi's not perfect. For as much as he brings every game, there's going to be sometimes that he makes mistakes, and that was one of the mistakes. I don't think there was a foul on Samu the play prior. I think the players jumped straight up, and they just happened to collide. I don't even know if there's contact there, but Samu says there is, but I don't think there's anything there. But look, at the end of the cycle, I think this is what we wanted. We were right where we wanted to be. We're in the hunt. We got maximum points from the games that we've played. We qualify for the Champions League. And we haven't had any major injuries this early on. My news apparently, you never know. Porto's had some injuries. Sporting has had some injuries. So, but when you think about the preseason that this team has had,
I
you
have
know what I
no
mean?
idea. If you tell me, I don't pay attention to those clubs, so puedo estar a mentir that I believe you. You know what I mean? I could care less. I don't look at those guys. I worry about us. I don't care what they do. You don't know what players come in and what not.
Understood. So we reached this cycle in the position that we wanted to be in, and now with two new players that we signed right before the window shut down, and one of them being the creative midfielder that we wanted, and the other one being the guy on the wing with some speed and some dribble and some Jenga. We'll see. But the most important thing was really getting into the Champions League, which is very important for us. But yeah, I think so far, you look at the end of this cycle and you can't really complain. Some of the performances haven't been that pretty, but certainly, you get the results, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. If you win the championship, nobody's going to know they played like shit against Strela, or you were pushed against the ropes against Alverca. It's it's not going to matter. It just matters that you got the points to win the championship. That was the most important thing.
Facts.
Um,
Nobody's gonna remember if you played bad or
yeah,
not in May. The points
yeah.
is what matters.
So the Champions League fixture against Fenerbahce, I think that when we went to Turkey, I think we respected Fenerbahce, but I get the thinking behind it, right? The biggest thing is that don't expose yourself too much, because if you get a tie, or if you end up squeezing a win, bring it to Lisbon and you finish it up in Lisbon. I think that was the mindset, not to expose yourselves, play a little bit of conservative football, try to manage the game as much as possible, try not to get exposed. And I think that was in it. As a Benfiquista, you look at that, okay, well, logically that makes sense. But for me, Benfica should be a team that goes into every field and just tries to beat their opponent. That I just thought that Benfica was a little bit too conservative in Turkey, and then came back to Lisbon. Obviously, was probably one of the better first halves of football, if not the best first half of the football that I've seen Benfica play this season against Fenerbahce with in front of our fans.
And that was what
And
Barreiro see me to put the wrong foot on every play. Imagine with a real player in that position.
He missed at least 3 goals. He missed at least a hat trick, Mr.
He
Barreiro.
was involved. Yeah, he was involved in good and bad. I thought he
Good
was
and
our
bad.
most influential player in that first half because he was everywhere. Good
He
and
was
bad. He would
everywhere.
influence the game in a negative way, right? When
Yep.
with Pavlidis' goal, then he gets the header, which I don't even think that was a push off. That's a goal. Then he finds Artur Kuglu by himself. Credit to him to pick him out. It just seemed like he was involved in every
Yeah.
opportunity that Benfica had, and
The good and the bad.
unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the ability to make those plays. He'll get them off once in a while, but not on a consistent basis, and that's why he is not that regular starter that we all want at the position. And just to piggyback off of that, Alfredo, I wanted to read a comment here. Carlos Amaru says, "What the hell is it?" For the record, he says, "I don't think Barreto is better than Cristiani. I didn't even think and I don't even think it's close. The ceiling between the two is astronomical. 100% the ceiling. But today, I don't think Cristiani offers you what Barreto offers you
No,
today.
it's two different players.
Yes, absolutely. But I think Barreto is a guy that, good or bad, at least he'll come in and he'll serve a purpose. Cristiano is still way too green. I'm excited for the player. I
Yeah.
hope he gets there eventually. But two different players today,
Yeah.
at least.
I mean, one guy is a seasoned guy, and despite still being like mid-20s, I mean, Prestiani's just getting his feet wet, man. He's 20 years
Cristiano is
old.
the team. He's a team mascot.
He's a
Everybody
team
pushes
mascot.
him off. Everybody
Yeah.
pushes off.
Everybody
But
flips him over, But that's what it is. Zach is getting this chat here on fire. He's a big Auschwitz hater.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Ausnes fan, but Zach makes me look like I got a crush on a guy.
But yeah, so I think in Lisbon was a lot different, and we showed why we were superior. We were much better than Fenerbahce, even though I feared for a second because of the Mourinho factor, because Mourinho can, despite not being a coach that, at least in my opinion, that I don't consider to be in a top 5, maybe even top 10 of best coaches in the world anymore, right?
Sim, mas Alfredo, se fosse não estava no Fenerbahçe também, bro.
Claro, claro, claro. But people just know that Mourinho has lost some of his edge. I think that there's guys out there that are a lot better than Mourinho, I think. And then when you look at this at this squad, how much can the guy
You
do?
better watch what you say. He's your next Benfica coach. You better watch what you say. And look, not to talk about that too much. I thought in the second half, I even said it on Twitter, Benfica better get a hold of this game before it's too late. You could tell they got comfortable. They started having the ball back a little bit more than I liked. Benfica sat back. They had that unorthodox header off the crossbar. Things could have gotten really interesting. I thought
Yeah.
Benfica really just sat back and gave them too much of the ball. Lucky for us, that team didn't have enough quality to make us pay. But for a good 15, 20-minute stretch there, I was starting to break a sweat. But
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that the thing that concerned me the most was Mourinho parking the bus, really frustrating Benfica, and then using some of his faster guys to go on a counter after Benfica was frustrated from not being able to penetrate. That was the thing that concerned me the most. But I thought that Benfica played really well that first half, and then getting that goal was also really good early on, and I think that we controlled most of the games, and then I think Mourinho knew his fate. Really, I mean, even in the
you could tell like,
Yeah.
when Talisa gets a red card, second yellow, right, for elbowing Barrigachea, and the cameras pan to Mourinho. You just saw Mourinho standing there, not saying a word. I say he looks resigned, bro, to the fact
Yeah,
that like there's just Benfica's a better team, and I don't think I think my man was just like all of us here in the chat. At least the majority of us, I assume, in the chat. He had that saudade in his head. He wanted to be back home. He's like, "Don't
yeah,
cagar nesta merda. If I get fired, I go home." And you could tell, my man. He could tell like he went back like he was much younger when he got to the airport. He went back
yeah.
like 10 years. He's like, "Hey, I'm home. I'm gonna go have dinner with my family."
I have some
And
chocolate.
yeah, he's chilling, man. He's like, I'm all of us want to be back in Portugal. Guys, I'm not talking para me nervar, bro.
Back in Portugal, and he's got 15 million in the bank
Yeah,
for
And,
his
and, and,
termination.
and an agreement to be the next Benfica coach. Chico Marcelino just said Mourinho will love to coach Benfica. And so, guys, listen, the only thing that's ruining this from happening is the possibility, or shall I say, the expectation, because it's a ticking time bomb, tick tock, before Ruben Amorim gets fired, and so, you might be closer to a Mourinho than many of us would like. So just keep that in mind. Don't say I never told you guys. So
yeah. I thought there was talks that he might be going to Forest.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
Nunu is in a bust up with the owner there.
Yeah, there was a little blurb in I forget which paper it was. It was a Bolo Record that Mourinho has now collected
Wait,
100 million.
you're
100
talking you're talking about the same newspapers that said Benfica não tem interesse nenhum no Luca Bubi, out of dos planos. Same thing with
The
Sudakov.
Sudakov, yeah. No, I
No,
don't
in
know
Luca,
which one it was. That
in
was
Luca,
that was
they did
Record
both.
Bolo.
It was Record did both. They actually said both.
Yeah.
But, out of the plans.
But Chris, you know how it is. That's sometimes it's to cool down the clubs, to bring some of the leverage back to the club, to the agents. Those are
Well,
games
it
like
ain't
that.
look like it when you paying 30 million for Sudakov plus 25%. It ain't look like that worked. Not on
Yeah.
that one. Not on that negotiation. But listen, we talked so much about the Champions League. Let Dave talk a little bit. Dave, give
Yeah.
us
Dave,
give us the schedule.
Yeah.
Give us the
Give
draw.
us-
Give us the draw.
Yeah.
Kicks off on the Tuesday, the 16th, against Garabag, the Azerbaijan team. They'll be coming to the Estadio de Luz. Then we go on the road to Chelsea on Tuesday, the 30th of September, followed by away at Newcastle Tuesday, October 21st. Back home against Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday, November 5th. Away at Ajax on Tuesday, November 25th. At home against Napoli on Wednesday, December 10th. And then in the new year, away at Juve on Wednesday, the 21st, followed by wrapping up the Champions League at home against Real Madrid on Wednesday, the January 28th.
Chris, what do you
I
think
mean,
of the?
could this
of the
draw
draw?
have gone worse?
It's pretty
fucking
bad.
awful, man. How many times do we got to play Juventus? Fuck. Well,
but Juventus,
That might be
but
our
listen,
only bright spot out of this
Thank
draw
you,
here.
Dave. Yeah, that might, because we're 7-1 against them in European competition. So Alfredo, that might be the only one. But dude, Real Madrid now, pot 4, we get a team that is way above pot 4, which is Newcastle. Like, shit just can't. It's like we got the best teams from every pot. It seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we're missing was PSG. I mean, absolutely atrocious. I mean, we got Quarabag. And again, me and Hugo talked about this a lot. We were hoping we started with Quarabag because that gives us a nice little start. 3 points in the bag. We're good, as opposed to having all this pressure. And then we play, what is it? Newcastle and Chelsea and Newcastle, right? And we play at home, then to Chelsea, then to Newcastle. The next 2 games are away.
Yeah.
Those games are going to be crucial. But I think Benfica is going to do just enough to be able to advance. And the one good thing also to keep in mind is we get to play Real Madrid in the last game, which Real Madrid will probably have things sealed by then.
Yeah.
Which might be a good sign
We
for
hope.
us. Or not. Yeah, we hope. We hope.
I mean, it hasn't been there's been some questioning of Xavi Alonso's methods, but it's early on.
Bro, it's all these coaches. These guys think they're all fucking philosophers, bro. This is soccer. It's pass the ball, kick the ball, and score the ball. These guys want to do, they're retarded, bro. Oh my, excuse the term. I apologize. But soccer now, I'm watching these games and it's so boring. These games are all played in between the boxes. Nobody even attempts a shot. Nobody attempts a dribble. It's just like a huge chess match because all these guys think that they're going to reinvent the wheel. It's not a good product. I'm sorry, bro. It's not a good product.
I'm struggling to find how we come out with at least 9 points from this.
How? I got
this
you,
draw
Dave.
here.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Go ahead. Tell me the games. 3 points against Quarabag.
Yeah.
I'll admit we might lose to Chelsea, but again, anything could happen, right? Same thing with Newcastle. I admit that we're underdogs going into their stadiums. I admit. Then we come home to Leverkusen, right? That's 3 points. That's 6 points. Then Ajax,
If
right?
Ten Hag was still the coach, maybe we'll see who's the coach after this.
You never know. Ruben Amorim might replace him. You never know. So that's 6 points, right? Then we got Ajax, right?
Yeah.
That's 9 points, Dave. What do you? I mean, you want more points?
Away. That's going to be a tough away.
Ajax is garbage. Listen to Cristiano, positive Cristiano. Okay, that's 3 points, and then we'll see what happens. Napoli is obviously a very tough game, but it is at home, right? And who else? Juventus is a team, like I said, we're 7-1 all time against them in the European competitions. I get it. It's not going to be a pushover, but a draw is not out of the question because it's going to be in their minds that we have this tremendous record against them. And then Real Madrid at home, bro, a game that Real Madrid might just be playing. I mean, the problem is that their backups is world-class players, but, they might be playing with their backups because they have everything sealed already.
I would have more confidence coming away with a victory against Juventus than against away at Ajax. But it would be good for the coefficient if we could pull one over the Dutch side there.
No, but listen, I think last season Real Madrid came down to the wire, right?
They did,
to qualify into the next phase, if I'm not mistaken. Remember?
They weren't guaranteed it. They ended up winning on the last day, and then they jumped into the top 8. What they really are concerned about is making that top 8.
Yeah, the top 8, Alfredo. It wasn't getting into the top 24. They might have been last day struggling into the top 8, which gives you a bye. But that's not the top. That's not the top 24, bro.
Because I remember looking, even PSG was
PSG was with us.
PSG was with us. Yes, PSG was with us.
Yeah,
but not Real Madrid. Real Madrid was good. They got through.
Yeah, what do you call it? Sheikh Marcelino was asking what you thought of Ivanovic, and Sheikh Marcelino interceptar. Diogo Reis already told him what you think.
He goes, I know Chris thinks like me. Come on, bro. Sheikh, I want to know who saw that guy play and said, man, we gotta spend 28 million on this guy. Whoever signed off on that signing should be demoted. should be put into the women's team or something.
For
Because
this, come
the
on,
mo
man.
what do you mean? Come on, man. The women's team need general managers too, no? Oye, they need scouts. Put him over there. Let him sharpen his eye because he did not do a good job here, bro.
Yeah. Look, I think the jury's. Chris, you're very quick, and I'm gonna add, you're very quick to judge, but most of the time you're right.
I like to say more than most, bro. Mas tá bem. I don't know what word
I'm
can
not
really
gonna
them.
say all the time because that'd be perfect.
Mostesses at a time.
The hostess with the mostesses.
Mostesses, yes.
Hey, Alfredo wasn't wrong. Real Madrid was a part of that playoff last year.
Yeah, I
They
remember.
drew City, and they beat City.
Yeah, I remember
Oh, yeah?
seeing that as we're headed into the last couple games, and
it
we were
sounded
counting
better.
shit. Real Madrid was down there with PSG, if I'm not mistaken. I think I remember. I remember that Real Madrid didn't really have a
They
good.
finished 12th and had to play City.
Yeah. But look, this is another year, different coach. You know, they got Carreras now. They're good. Vinny Jr. and Alverca.
Hey, SLBEES says if we don't beat Newcastle, we don't
Newcastle's strong,
deserve
man.
to be in the. Newcastle just finished in the top four in the in
Newcastle's
the
strong.
EPL. I get it, they lost Isaac, but they bought an absolute baller from whether Bremen, one of them teams in Germany, whoever it was. Some dude 6'6" who's a ball. He's not just one of them Peter Crouch Mamalukes that just run around and header ball. This guy actually, for a 6'6" guy, he could actually play. The dude's got Ginga in his feet. They got Bruno Guimarães, who is absolute
Yeah.
beast in that midfield.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, everyone on that team, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, they're all like 6'7" and taller.
They got a
They're
good
all
team.
huge. They got shard of them. I mean, come on, bro. To say that
They
these
got a
guys are a
decent team.
pushover,
Yeah.
you clearly don't pay attention. I mean,
Nah, I
they're
mean,
not
we're
a
not
bad team
talking.
at all, bro. They're
Yeah,
not a
we're
bad
not
team.
talking about Burnley, man. We're
The
not
only
talking about
bad
the best team.
thing is they don't have Odysseus no more as the backup goalie because he could have, maybe he could have played against us.
Bad thing for us.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's the only bad thing for us.
That guy, I don't think has played 10 games since since he's left Benfica.
Yeah.
Where's he at now? He left. He left
He
Newcastle.
went to Forest, and
Yes.
then even
he's at
Forest. And now he's at Sevilla.
Oh, he left.
Sevilla.
Okay, he's at Sevilla. Okay.
Yeah. But look, it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting Champions League for sure. I mean, when I look at this squad and
Yes,
seeing
Bruno
what-
Teixeira says number 10, Gordon. I think that's his name. That dude's a baller too. Yeah, Newcastle got a lot of players, man. For anybody,
they do.
Tonali, not Donati. Donati's a former Italian midfield. Tonali, I mean, they got so many. Listen, they're solid. They're a very solid team. Very good team. Obviously, to finish in the top four in the English Premier League, they're not a pushover by any stretch,
Yeah.
man. They're a good team. And Benfica's gonna have their work cut out for them. Now, can we go there and pull off a surprise and a draw? Listen, we have Champions League pedigree. They don't. You know what I mean? So maybe that'll work in our favor, but it's not gonna
And
be
that's
a cakewalk.
that's one of the things that has me encouraged about this team is that we got a couple guys, and especially with the physicality in the midfield, and now with Sudoku, and a couple of the guys.
We lost Kosoku and we brought in Sooku. I mean, Jesus Christ. Probably shots.
But look, I think that my biggest concern has been, what Laj's ceiling is, because I do think that Laj has a little bit of a ceiling, to be honest with you, in terms of coaching. I think I like the players. Obviously, there's still some guys that the jury is out on. Let's not forget that Richard Rios came from a different reality, different speed of the game, different refereeing, different style of play, and he's been progressing. He's been playing better and better each game, in my opinion. It's just that physicality. You just has to get used to it. That you blow on people in the Portuguese league, and the refs call fouls. So that takes a little bit of adjusting to do. But like I think that he's been progressing well. And then, as Cristiano was mentioning, or somebody was mentioned, once Sudoku comes in, and Richard Rios is not be responsible for driving the ball and for finding guys and for taking guys on, he's gonna be it's gonna be even better. It's gonna be even better. Um, but yeah, I think that we have a team to make it into the next round, and then we'll see depending how the team gels. But my biggest concern is really how Laj is going to be able to manage this team. That's my biggest concern.
Look, the credit to Lodge, credit to the front office, to the structure, to the scouting department. The one thing that they said after last year's pushovers against Sporting was that they wanted to get a team much more aggressive, much more physical, and they've done exactly that. Every player's like the only short dude they brought in, well, not the only, because I guess Didic isn't big, but Didic and Sudakov, all the other guys, pretty big dudes. And this Luki, what's his name? I'm not trying to be funny. I don't Luki.
Ibafio.
Luki Bacchio. Luki Bacchio, he's like the tallest player on the team, I believe. A guy with Ginga, a guy that can get on top of defenders, a guy that's going to be able to score some goals. I really have high expectations for the guy. I'm not in love, but I have high expectations for the guy.
Yeah.
I think Benfica's done well here. I just the only thing I would have liked to see, I would have liked to seen another player come in. I think we're one player short, especially for the first couple of months without Manu and these other guys coming back. But I wish we would have signed one more player, and I'm not happy with Ivanovic. But I'm hoping Ivanovic proves me wrong, man. I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on a striker that really doesn't fit what we do. You know what I mean? Doesn't fit the style of play we have, but maybe he'll be good in the Champions League where when we go to Stamford Bridge and when we go to I forgot the name over there in freaking Newcastle. When we go to these places, Benfica will most likely be playing on a counterattack. And so maybe then he'll be able to use his physicality and his speed to cause some trouble for the opposition. So we'll see what happens. I'm not happy, but it doesn't mean I want to discard him just yet. I mean, at this point, the transfer window's closed. You know, I'm another. It's either him or what's his name, Araújo. So
Yeah.
one of them has to give.
Yeah. So that's that. And look, I guess we're getting a little close here to the time we have to say goodbye to our Pema Media friends, and we'll keep talking. We're gonna talk St. James Park. Manny Villadon said, yeah, Manny Villadon.
Yeah, St. James Park. Yes.
We're gonna say goodbye to our Pema Media friends. We will
Pema.
continue with the podcast, and we'll talk about the new faces now. But yeah, I think that we have a good chance to make it into the next round. But anyway, new faces, and I think that Cristiano has a little bit has unveiled a little bit of who he likes and not. And early on, I think that there's been enough seeing these guys to know where they're at. Dave, who's the guy that's really impressed you so far? And it's probably the same one that has impressed me and Chris, but I'll let you go.
It's got to be Dedic so far on that right wing. They're playing from the back, but he's pretty much given us the creativity on that wing, given the lack of quote unquote wingers that we have in that position or had in that position so far. So I like what he's brought. He's got a mind, creative mind, and is able to set up the guys there up front. So right off the bat, he's one that comes to mind, and hopefully we're able to hold him on for more than just one season, but he might already be the next one to make money off of.
Who's that?
Dedic.
Wait, you think Benfica's gonna sell him right away?
We'll see.
The one thing about that, it's real quick, Alfred. I like the player going forward. I do think he struggles at times defensively. I mean, we was short spell of games so far, but interesting to see as the competition goes up to see how he defends, and maybe then Dave, maybe then we'll start worried about selling him. But I mean, he's played well. I mean, he's been good with the ball. Let's not be.
I mean, and also let's really consider. And look, I'm not shitting on the guy because I'm on your side, Dave. I think that that Dedic has been really good, but let's consider the opposition that he's been faced with. Right? I mean, still very impressive, quick. He's got that burst of speed to get away from guys. He's got that quick touch to get away from guys. I like that. But yeah, let's see. With the Champions League coming and some.
Yeah, the one high level game he played against
Yeah,
Sporting, he wasn't great. But
you got Porto right around the corner as well.
Dave just scared me, bro. Damn, Dave, just as I'm starting to fall in love with this guy, you telling me he's gonna be sold already?
I don't want
man.
want him sold. I'm just history has told us not to go falling in love with these
the
players.
elections are around the corner. I'm not gonna start this election, so I'm joking.
If we keep buying every player is 20 million, 20 million, 20 million, we got to start selling these players.
We don't gotta sell nothing, Dave. We how do I say this? We bought. We spent 103 million and we sold 96 million, and that's not even including Tino's 24 next year, which is highway robbery right away. The fact we got 26 million for Tino, that is Rui Pedro Braz, my man. Get a cake. Get a cake.
Clause that Burnley has to stay in the Premier League, though?
I don't know what the clause is. And then obviously we have a shitload of money going as well for Sudukov because we only paid 6 million for his loan this year. But yeah, I mean, Benfica didn't go spend crazy money. We got 70 million from the Club World Cup. We got Champions League money last year. We got Champions League money this year. I mean, everybody acting like Benfica is on the freaking food line over there on Ferry Street, but I mean, they're okay. I mean, I'm thinking they're okay. I don't know their finances in and out like that, but just on money in and money out over the last 12 months, they're good. I don't understand why everybody's stressing. And plus, if you want to compete and you want to regain that domestic advantage and dominance in Portugal, bro, you have to spend. It is what it is. The team last year, and that I got on Alfredo on the last podcast I was on. I was gonna say something today and I didn't, but I'll say it. Right when Alfredo mentions the acquisitions because of elections, and to me, it's like I don't care if there was no elections. The team last year was shit. We needed to bring in new guys because of what we said before in terms of physicality and aggression and intensity. I mean, this is a proper team. Is it still short a player or two? Yes, sadly, Ivanovic looks like shit. But if he turns around and he's a player that I guess they're expecting him to be, maybe we're, looking at this whole thing a little bit different if the guy's able to come in and contribute. Yeah. The team is a proper team now. And in order to do that, Porto spent 100 million. Like, we have to spend in order to compete with our rivals. We can't sit there and, we're going to promote kids from the B team and we're going to spend, $12 million on signings. And then we're going to complain like Luis Riviera did when we sold everybody for $3,100 million and we went and got Sferovic. That was our only acquisition. And we lost to the Penta. I mean, it is what it is. Dave, we got to spend. In order to be good, you got to spend. Your Toronto Blue Jays, if they don't spend, they ain't good, right? That's how it is.
Yeah, but also look at what Porto has done in the market. Sporting not so much, but Sporting did buy some guys. But this year was a record year for Portuguese clubs and how they spent.
They spent 268 between the three of them.
Yeah,
but
significant
with these
for the Portuguese
these bigger transfer acquisitions and costs. These players gotta hit though. It's not like a $5 million player and a $10 million player.
Right.
If you're spending 20 million on, which I think all of our acquisitions this offseason were at least 20 million or in around that ballpark.
No, Dedic was 12. He was the cheapest. Barriga was 13.
He looked the most impressive.
Dedic was 12. Barriga was 13. And then Sudukov was, let's just say 30. Hey, Luku Bakio, believe it or not, I don't want to say this yet because I haven't seen him playing the game at Benfica, but based on what I've seen at Sevilla, this guy might be our best player at the end of the year. You only paid 20 million for him with 4 million in objectives as well. That was a good deal. The deal to me that raises eyebrows is the Sudukov because that's a lot of money, and then Ivanovic is because he hasn't performed to the levels we all were hoping for. So Everybody else, they've 13,
Yeah.
12. Am I
Yeah.
missing it? A 5 for Obrador. Okay, that's 5. So we did bring some guys cheap. We'll see.
Yeah. And look, I think for me, Danic is obviously the guy that's in the front now. But I think that Hughes has brought a lot, and like I said, he still needs to adapt. But Inechea, despite his lack of speed, I mean, sometimes you don't need to have speed if you have positional sense, and you're always going to be in a right position to receive the ball and to be able to lay it off. I like that he can play with both feet. I like the fact that he could hit those long passes. Um, and then I think that Sudakov is going to be somebody that complements those two guys very well, and I'm excited for that. This guy that we just signed, he's just a guy that puts his head down and he goes. He's not so much a guy that's going to combine with people because he's just fast and he's athletic and that's where he goes. But yeah, I'm excited. Ivanovic, I think everybody got excited when his first game he scored a goal, and people just got excited. But it's like the more you watch him, is like loose touches, and when you're the only guy in the box and you don't have anyone around you, that loose touch is going to lose you the ball each time, or it's going to even lose the timing, lose the angle for a shot. And we've seen now a couple of times that he's had loose touches and he loses that window that he could hit goal or he could beat a guy. So we'll see. He's still a young guy. Ivanovic is what, 20, 21?
22, I think.
22?
I think.
Still young.
Mas se não sabes jogar a bola aos 22, não aos 23, que vais aprender.
Pois está bem. Mas pode aprimorar a técnica. What else? Yeah, everybody was turning on Zach because Zach.
I love Zach. Zach probably had to go back to work.
Everybody was he was hating on Auschwitz and everybody was hating on Zach.
But I'm on Zach's team. You know that. You know I'm on Zach's team.
But somebody was saying that we need to get another center back. I don't think we need to get a center back because I think people forget that Manu was a center back. That's where his roots are as a center back. So I don't think we need to get another.
But as we stated before, with the new added aggression to this midfield, he's gonna be needed in the midfield a lot more.
He's gonna be needed in the midfield before anything else. He's definitely gonna be filling in.
Oh, Zach is back. Zach is back.
Zach is back.
Zach, don't listen to Diogo. Don't listen to Diogo's no good. Don't listen to him.
Zach, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's entitled to have one. Don't worry about it.
And I'm with you, Zach. I'm not in love with Ausnes. I'm not in love with. I do appreciate what he does, and I recognize what he does, but I'm not in love. I think Ausnes fits perfect on this team. The problem was last year, Ausnes was the best midfielder we had, and that's the problem. This year, he's at least at worst.
For everything.
Yeah, this year you got Enzo, you got Rios. You don't need to rely on Ausnes the way you did last year, and so I think he's gonna fit in perfect. He's gonna be that Swiss Army knife that could play everywhere. Look, next game he's gonna play right back most likely, so he's gonna do a bunch of different positions, and he's gonna play them all well. He's not gonna be fantastic, but he's gonna play well. So I'm with you. I'm not in love with the player. They make him out to be a superstar, and he's not. But doesn't mean that he's not a good player. You know what I mean? He adds a lot to this team as well.
Yeah. Zach said they was taking a dookie. Not gonna lie.
And he didn't take the laptop into the bathroom?
Apparently not. You need your hands to wipe your ass. Can't be typing and going back and forth with Diogo Reis. What's wrong with you, Chris? But yeah, I think that there's been some interesting guys that Benfica has brought, and obviously, I don't mind paying the money, and I think it's worth investing if you're gonna have a good team. Just don't invest into players like Jurasek and Picanha. That's finally gone,
bro. But that's the thing. You go from Ferreira, Rodriguez, Yaremchuk, Musa, Tankstead, Picanha.
That's some fucking names, bro.
Now this guy, it's fucking like $1 billion spent. And I'm with Carlos Amaro, right? Because Carlos brings a good point. That it's like Benfiquistas are all accountants, and I agree. Benfiquistas are all coaches. They're all accountants. They're all fucking experts in everything. And you know what I mean, Carlos? I'm with you. These guys. It's the only fan base I know that we sign a baller and like, custa muito. Ai, o dinheiro. Like, oh man, por amor de Deus, bro. Like, enjoy the moment, enjoy the player. But no, but it's just
Yeah.
it's annoying. But
Yeah, Zach is saying, yeah, we need a winger. Letting Gouveia go was silly.
yeah, but Gouveia
Zach,
wasn't a winger. I like
yeah.
Gouveia because Gouveia wasn't the answer. I like the player.
All I know is that Gouveia was a couple times he was on the exit door when Schmidt was around, and
Then he scored that goal.
Then
and
he
it
got
saved his
hurt.
bacon. No, he saved. Remember, Dave? They made the decision to keep him after he scored a goal in a game that he was supposed to be his last game last year.
Yeah, and then he didn't get too many games after that.
Then he got hurt after that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Gouveia would have been another one of those players. I think
utility players.
Yes, he could play right back because he's better than the kid, than the young kid. What's his name? Santos, Leandro Santos. And so he could play right back. He could play left wing. He could play right. He could play in the mid. Like he's a good player. Again, to rotate when you're playing the Taça da Liga games, the Taça Portugal games. He's a good role player, and I would have liked to have kept him, but. Can't keep everybody, guys. You can't because now you're gonna have to try to, as we talked about, Regu, Vlozu. You're gonna have to try to pump these guys through the system as well and see what you get out of these guys.
They're gonna have to because with losing, just thinking about this, they lost Gouveia, they lost Florentino, and then the Champions League has those like strict quotas that they have to meet. That they have to have a certain amount of players that develop through the system and a certain amount of Portuguese national players registered as well, so they're gonna have to call up and maybe even depend on getting some minutes for these young guys on the B team through the Champions League at least, and maybe even the Taças as well.
Yeah. Look, I think there's definitely some interesting players. We'll have to see how they develop. I think it's still early. I like to give a benefit of the doubt. Chris is, like I said, he's quick to judge, but most of the time he's right. So.
It's a good roster, guys. I'm good. It's because you have two options. It's a good roster. It's short. It's short, but it's a good way. And Ivanovic could be the key that turns it all around. But
you still got Enrique Araújo. Don't forget.
I haven't seen anything yet that from the player that tells me he's going.
So
that tells me he's going to turn it around, but we're hoping. And Enrique Araújo, I don't know, man. Listen, we're talking. I've never seen so much fanfare for a guy that scores 6 goals in 4 years out on loan. I just in total in 4 years. I don't understand. And I believe all 6 were like penalties or some shit last year. But hey, whatever. That's just me.
Yeah. Yep. Kazamar says, for the record, I'm biased with Auschwitz. I met him and I couldn't stop giggling like a schoolgirl the whole time. It was embarrassing. He says his wife even called him out on it. That's embarrassing, man. But it's okay. Okay to fanboy.
Oh, boys. Like you, Red Baron said, Chris Ivanovic at crack or crack? I don't know. It looks like crack so far. It looks like the guy that signed off was on crack. I don't know.
Somebody signed off on him.
Yes.
Hey, everybody's looking for the hidden gem. Maybe he had a hidden gem at Union San Girolas.
And now Rui Pedro Braz is getting ready to leave, so he won't get criticized for taking private jets no more. Poor guy had to get stuck in lines after they criticized him for the private jet. He had to go fly commercial like the rest of us.
Sucks.
Coitado. My man wasted half of his life on lines and stuff and waiting at the airports. Coitado.
Yeah. Nuno says, the only good thing about Enrique Araújo is his numbers on his back is number 39.
Exactly.
LOL.
Let's go. I'm down.
Yeah. What else we got? I think that's pretty much it, right? Cristiano, you want to? I think you've already voiced your opinion on the new signings, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Not
so
really
far, so good.
high on is Ivanovic. Everybody else, I mean, you could see how
Well, I
they
mean,
could
it's
spot
early.
them.
I'm excited about Luka Bacchio and Sunukov. I don't know nothing about yet. So those guys are still, the jury's still out on those guys. But Ivanovic, man, like he scored
Yeah,
that
the
nice
loose
goal
switch, man.
again. He scored that nice goal against Nice. He was at the right place at the right time. So credit to the player. That's a goal scorer, a guy that finds the ball and he's got the nose for the goal, and he did that. Then he had a wide open goal against Strela, and I guess the goalie made a nice save, but I think it was harder to hit the goalie than it was to put the ball in the back of the net, and he
Yeah,
just looked very. I don't know, bro. Very uncomfortable on the ball. He can't complete a pass.
yeah,
Can't turn. Every time he touches the ball, it seems like he's losing it. And I'm trying to see a glimpse. I'm trying to see a glimpse, and I'm gonna give you a perfect example. There was a lot of question marks from at least my friends and stuff because as we sit here and talk about these signings, majority of my Benfica friends call me because they like to hear my opinion. Because as we stated before, I'm okay in this department, right? And so they all call me. What do you think about this player, that player? And I watched Obrador, and he was on the field for what few minutes against Fenerbahce in the Eusebio Cup, and he touched the ball maybe once or twice. But one of those times he touched the ball, he had a movement that it clicked to me. I said that kid's gonna be a player. And then obviously he wasn't lights out in his one start the week after at home or a couple weeks after at home against Tondela. But to me, I saw enough. I got a glimpse of what's in the player that I'm comfortable putting my name behind it and saying we're gonna have a player there. And I haven't gotten that
that's
Midas moment. I haven't gotten that moment yet from Ivanovic. Everything I see is just red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
yeah,
He's not even ultra fast. Like I just don't see it. I don't know.
yeah,
But listen, they got the job. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing.
yeah.
And you're always
Chris,
the sad part is just to finish real quick is nobody's gonna bat 1,000. You're gonna get some wrong. You know what I mean? So maybe this is the one that got wrong. It's just a $28 million mistake after spending another 600 million on the players I mentioned before. But one sooner or later they're gonna get a striker, right?
yeah. Manny Villadon is saying poor Ivanovic getting almost as much crap as the Azorian football pitches.
Hey, I was gonna say when we were talking about the pitches earlier, they don't have anything to complain about because we call it how we see it. We complained about the other two
That's right.
pitches here.
That's
So
right. We
That's right.
criticize all the shitty pitches.
And don't forget, I criticized Tondela pitches. I posted
that
on
was
the
Twitter,
the
and they
pictures.
original. That was
and
the
they
Somebody
original.
stole the
that's the
picture.
one that kicked in record and Bola stole my pictures and put it on the front page. Without
Right.
crediting me, bro. I didn't even get a Bola for free. You know what I mean? Like a copy of the journal. They could have at least done that, but
Yeah.
yeah, we
Jason, I
we
don't know if he said that. Jason saying, wasn't Ivanovic quoted about Benfica being a stepping stone club?
yes, he did say it. He did
To
say
me,
it.
that sounds like somebody who isn't fully invested in. Hey, you could look at Benfica as a stepping stone club, but if he's not performing at Benfica, he's instead of a stepping stone, he's going to be a falling stone.
Yeah, but hold on. Eh, this is not an Ivanovic problem, okay? Because fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right?
Yeah,
When the same exact thing happened with Enzo as he was leaving Buenos Aires to Madrid to then uh connect flight to Lisbon, when that happened, Benfica should have made sure every single signing after that moment because there was plenty of criticism at the time. Benfica should be prepared, and every single signing that comes in after Benfica should say, "Look, I don't care what you believe in." I'm pretty sure Benfica tells them it's part of the pitch. Come here, it's a stepping stone, right? And we could admit all that behind the scenes. We could say all we want to say, but in public, you cannot say that, and especially after we already had that scenario with Enzo, and now to have this happen again, it just goes to show you that somebody's sleeping or they're just not paying attention. I don't know which one it is, but it's one or the other. And that should have never happened. Ivanovic should have never said that. And now you add to the fact that he's come in and lucky for him, he scored that one goal. And apparently, there's plenty of people. Again, I got shit on Twitter that's telling me the guy's been phenomenal. I'm like, oh, okay, and it's early. You got to give him a break. I haven't seen anything, but now when you say
Really,
those
he's been
things and
phenomenal.
then you don't play to that level, or you don't even give you glimpse of that type of player, obviously the magnifying glass is going to be on you, a lot more than it would have been if you just keep your mouth shut. It's a dream to play in the club that hopefully plays in the Champions League. You say all the right things. You don't just shit on the fan base in the club like, bro, I didn't even get here and I'm already thinking about my next step.
Right.
So,
all right, let's get out of here. It's good to be back next week because the international week we won't be here. Sorry to disappoint you. Or maybe we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll come and chat with you guys a little bit. We'll let you know.
maybe we'll bring in Luis Viera and interview him. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
He only wants to debate Rui Costa. He doesn't want to debate anyone else. Just Rui Costa. So let's get out of here, guys.
Thank
Take
you
care,
to all
everyone.
the Freddies. Hey, Freddie, before you leave, smash the like button. Come on, be nice.
Smash the like button if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of your nights.
Yep.
Take care, everybody.
Carrega.
Carrega Benfica.